What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Rad Picker channel. If you're here by mistake, the exit's to the left. If you've come to see excitement, learn a little something, well, good luck. I'm not the world's best teacher, but that's my first mounted deer up there. That's why it's in the garage. I did happen to harvest a big one, yes. This will not end soon. I will be bragging about that. Lucky shot and all that, but I am a deer hunter. Sorry if you don't like that. I love it. One of my passions, one of my many. Like I said, I grew up, I wanted to be a skateboarder, baseball player, basketball player. I wanted to play hockey. I wanted to be a dirt bike rider. I wanted to do everything, but now I'm just a has-been, an old guy who's making terrible YouTube content, reselling, building things, hunting every chance he gets, and that's what I do. I thought I would share some of my sales with you, so stay tuned, and we're back. All right, thanks for staying tuned. Just a couple of sales before we get into anything educational. If you learn something on this channel, you are doing better than me. But pick this little guitar pedal up. I want to say that sold for $32.47. I'm a big number 47 guy, not 6'7", 47. Sold that, just got that a week or two ago. Wasn't surprised to see this sale. Bought this summer. The Nutcracker, I think I paid $5. This sold for $23.47. I like that one. No damage to that one. This is actually a good clock. Be on the lookout. I got to remember what it was. I can't see. Master Crafters. This little clock with a church clock with a little guy in there. That sold for $23.47 as well. I'm trying to not get confused. One of my personal favorites, these University of Michigan Zubaz pants. These were actually yours truly. I haven't worn them in a long time, but they've been in my dresser. I finally started going through some of my clothes, and if I haven't worn them in a long time or not worn them at all, they got to go. So sold those for $47.29. So good sale. This Chargers hat, NFL fitted, strip flex fit, sold that for $13.47. Hats, I started reducing my prices and they started selling. I am still going through my eBay store and reducing prices, checking shipping, really helping myself out because I am making sales. I know it's the fourth quarter, but it seems to be helping out with some of the items that have sat around. I have this effigy peace pipe'em. This has been around. I believe I got this off Hard Rock Resales in a live show over on District. I think it was on First Class Treasures. And Hard Rock Resales, I sourced that from him. Had it for a while. I had to reduce that. I want to say that sold for $17.37. Had something else here. Oh, this hat actually sat around longer than I thought. This is a houndstooth. It's not an actual Alabama hat, but obviously Alabama Crimson Tide houndstooth hat finally sold. And this sold, I believe, for $27.49. So not a bad sale. I had it way up there to start with. I've reduced it. Had a lot of impressions on that. Just could not seem to sell it. And finally, it is gone. That's just a handful of stuff. I've shipped some things. A set of Levelor blinds for like a 2-foot by 3-foot window. Sold them for $10. I've had them forever. They were actually for my old house, new in box. Never installed them. Put them for sale on the Bay. And had a woman. They were something $20-some. And the woman kept offering. And finally, I was just so sick of them. I just said, here, take it. So there you go. Another thing that happened to me. Let me see where this is. It can't be far. I had a package. Oh, here we go. Watch it. Here's a package that has to go out tomorrow. This is a customer who bought this AC adapter. They sent me a message after I shipped it that it was the wrong address and that they had the right address, and they hoped that maybe it would be forwarded to them. It was not. She sent me a message and said, it's not your fault, but could you please send it to me? And I said I would. I did not remember, I think Thursday or Friday, when I got it. I meant to send these out with all my packages Friday. I did not. I got to put a new label on it. I have to purchase the label through Pirate Ship or Shippo and send this out to her. I'm going to just print the label on my dime. I'm probably not going to make anything on this, but she keeps sending me messages. So if you're a viewer, ma'am, I won't say your name on here, but it's coming your way, this AC adapter. She was very nice. She wants it, and I just did not get it out Thursday. I think I received it Thursday back from the post office, return to sender. At no fault of my own, but again, you know how that goes. If you've been in the eBay industry at any time, that people want their stuff, you got to get it out. So that's something that I'm dealing with. Something that heads up for you to, even if it's not your fault, you got to stay on top of it. The customer is always right, and get it out, get it shipped. Well, as we know, Thanksgiving is right on our doorstep next week, and man, sales are ramping up. I did notice, I guess because of last month, I went through my store on the PC, my account, and just checking anything that I had wrong or wanted to correct or amend, and it said that I would be below standard. And that still is because of the shipping. And like I've said, I think on every single video, that when I put packages on the loading dock at the post office, they do not get scanned in until Nashville. So I have started dropping my packages off on the front desk and make sure they're scanned in. That is a monster of a deal. Something that wasn't my fault turns into something that is my fault, because I'm ultimately in control of me, my store. I have no one to blame. I can't go to HR. I can't go, blame it on an employee. It is me if it is to be. So that's just something to learn if you want some advice from somebody who doesn't always do it the right way. So that being said, I wanted to talk a little bit about listing. And I know there's a lot of talk about these apps and programs to like list easier and things like that. I've not got into that. That does not interest me. I'm not saying it's not a good thing. I'm saying for me personally, since I sell everything, I don't see a benefit from it. But I was in there on my kitchen table listing clothing, which I've been mentioning quite a bit. I have a lot to list, a lot more to list, and I'm listing these at very reasonable prices. I am actually doing something that I wasn't a fan of, which is going below the market. Some people, you're probably either on one side or the other is what I'm trying to say. I was one of the type of people originally that I don't like the idea of undercutting the market, because if everyone keeps doing that, something that's worth $25 is now worth $11. I don't like that. I don't like the idea of manipulating the market based on your cost of goods. I'd like to keep our margins as high as we can, and as a consumer, I want it as low as I can. So it is at the classic catch-22. But I did notice, as I've been going through my store, delisting and relisting items that have been around, my oldest items that have not sold, I'm noticing a big discrepancy in my prices versus the actual market. And it's hard sometimes when you have something that you're in love with or emotionally attached to sell something that you think's worth $37 for, and then end up selling it for $11. But I've realized that, hey, I've had it for sale for this long, whether it used to be mine or I just think it's a neat item. Man, if you want to sell it, the truth is either wait around for 3 years and hopefully you sell it, which you probably won't unless the market changes, or list it at the market price or just below and watch it leave your storage. or your company, your warehouse, or what have you. So that's what I'm trying to do. Again, not an easy thing. I tend to get emotionally attached to things, things that I think are cool. I'm still, just in the 2-year mark of reselling on eBay, at this kind of rate or level, like actually having a store. So I'm still not dealing with things that are 2 years old sitting around. So I'm starting to learn that and just making sure. I just had an offer accepted. Okay, cool. I just purchased some hot hands, some body warmers for the cold season coming up. That is one of the things you can get for a really good deal on the Bay, I've noticed. There's certain things you can't. It's funny, like boots. I've been looking for a really good pair of boots. I mean, they're right up there with retail. I've been looking hopefully for a used pair. I want a pair of lacrosse winter, like Sub-Zero boots that are also lightweight. I'm very picky. They have to have arch support, and I've not been able to find any for any less than retail, or I could get from a sale off a company website. But I did notice other things. I love when you say bread and butter, I just like things like hot hands. You could even say toothpaste or daily things that I guess that you'd say bulk or household goods. You can find so much good stuff, and of course collectible things, clothing, things of that nature. But I do like to purchase as much as possible off eBay. I don't have any information, any proof that actually helps, but I believe it does. From my observation, leaving feedback, staying active, constantly moving your store around seems to help. Whether it's true or not, that's up for debate. But, I've seen so much content this way or that way. Again, you have good stuff, it'll sell. We all know that. There's nothing new under the sun. But if you are new to reselling, you happen to stumble upon the Rad Picker, normally I just rant. I don't write things down or have an outline of what to speak about. I just try to get out in here and tell you about the week I've had, whether good, bad, or indifferent. But I've spoke about live selling. And yes, this time of year, it was around the Super Bowl last year, I got on District and the different platforms, and I do miss that. I have no qualms about telling you about that. Who knows in the future if I reapply, if they'll allow me to have a store or not. But I miss the ease and the convenience of that marketplace, being able to hop on without having to really plan. I think I'm good at that, but I was only good at it in that marketplace. Again, on Whatnot, it's a little more clunky for me. There isn't a group of people just sitting there waiting. It's just different. It's like you got to go fishing on Whatnot and capture people, and then you got to bookmark, and people see your show and come in, but there's so many more marketplaces, and I have not mastered that at all. I've not really even tried to. I still try to do pop-ins. Some have been good, some have been bad, but I'm about to do one and really hammer down here before Christmas, because I have a lot of inventory to move. I think I have a lot of good stuff and a lot of stuff I don't want to sell. For instance, I'll give you an example. Like this wooden grave digger. It's not necessarily worth it for me to put on eBay. I mean, they'll sell for anywhere from $5 to $11. And it's cool. You've got people that like grave digger, collect Matchbox cars. This is not Matchbox. It's actually unique and wooden. But when you get on, at least when I was on District in the different marketplaces, someone might buy this for $1, or I throw it in with something else and it interests them, and I was able to move stuff like this really fast. The other thing was knives. I had a good market with knives and very cool knives. I do sell these on eBay. I haven't done all my research on this one yet, but it's slower, which I make a lot more money. I mean, a lot more. But if my purchasing is $2 and $3 and I can sell something for 10 or 15 and it's gone, I like that. I like the idea of that. So I'm also doing that with clothing. I have so much clothing. It is selling, but it's so slow, and I have so much. I can't keep sourcing, and we all know the fun part is sourcing and buying. That's what we are all addicted to, I think. So I am going to hit Whatnot really hard. TikTok keeps sending me encouragement to sell. My following keeps growing every single day. I gain followers. I try to keep content over there a little bit. Thank you to all my TikTok fans, followers, friends, whatever you want to call it. Certainly does help, keeps me relevant. I am going to try to refocus on some of this social media content and keep it going. Again, I said on a video, I was a little bit encouraged by Tony's Retro Plus. Him getting monetized kind of lit a fire under me. He's, like I said, he's better content than me, better at this than me, more focused, more diligent. So credit to him, but also hasn't been doing it a real long time. So that also made me realize I've always believed if someone can do it, I can do it. And I don't mean that disparagingly. I actually mean that as a compliment, that their encouragement helps me, not the fact that I'm so good that I can do it, because you can do it. So that being said, that's what I'm trying to do. Trying to get back in this game a little bit. I'm definitely sidetracked. I'm still measuring jobs. I measured a big deck for a friend of mine, an addition, and hopefully that works out in the future. Either way, I'm still doing some contracting work. I have to go look at another project tomorrow. So having all these irons in the fire, the old saying goes, he who chases two rabbits loses both. So you got to be really focused. I'm also still Uber Eats driving. Yes. An awesome side gig. I don't have to do it every day. I went probably 2 weeks without going at all. I got some offers from Uber that if I completed 10 deliveries, they'd give me a $100 bonus twice. So I did that last week. It made it well worth it. 20 deliveries. I got the money for the deliveries, plus the tips, plus a bonus of $200. So I wish they would do that more. I certainly would drive more. That is up and down our marketplace. It was funny. I saw a message on Facebook. Someone mentioned people not tipping, and the comments were like this. Some people said, you knew the job when you took it. And I'm extremely sensitive about that, because the truth is this, yes. But you also chose to get something delivered. It's not sustainable if you don't tip. Because what happens is you just get a ton of turnover, new drivers, and they'll chase that carrot at the end of the stick that Uber or whatever app is sending them. Like, you can make $25-30 an hour driving. And when they find out they're making an average of $12 an hour using their own vehicle, they'd be foolish to continue it. So eventually it won't continue. And that's what's funny to me is people on either side, on the extreme, is like, your grocery delivery is not free. I went to Walmart, got 3 different grocery deliveries for one trip, $26, an hour and 45 minutes later. And I kind of do that I did those to get my 10 deliveries. So I got that bonus of 100. That's not something they do all the time. They offered me that, I believe, because I'm a highly rated driver. It's not hard, guys. I mean, you just show up and follow instructions, and it's brainless, really. But I try to be presentable and things like that, and don't cause any issues, shockingly. But nobody causes any issues with me, so it's easy. But it's actually one of those things that's kind of funny. I'm like, even my wife, we are consumers. We got grocery delivery tonight. I reminded her, this isn't free. You tipping $4 or whatever, it's ridiculous. There's people doing that. Now, do you owe that? No. Just like me. I don't tip my barista if I go through a Starbucks drive-thru. I'm sorry. The girl handing me my drink outside of a window is not a service to me. Now, using your own vehicle and delivering across town in a snowstorm, that's a service. That is something that it costs you money to use your car. It costs gas. They don't pay for gas or anything. You, as an independent contractor, are doing that. So $15 an hour, you can't even fool yourself. If you are a crackhead and you just want drug money, you cannot sustain that. So the type of people are saying, you don't deserve a tip or whatever. Well, if you get cold food or whatever, don't tip by all means. But they have it set up where you put your tip in before the delivery. Well, us as drivers get these offers sent via our phone, our app, and it'll say, okay, 8 Popeye's chicken, 8 miles, $7. Well, that's barely that's less than $1 a mile. That's not a good rate. And that's including the tip. Now, what they don't know is if I accept that, and go make that delivery, and it takes me 30 minutes. Now, that's just the trip there. They don't count the trip back. They don't give you that information. You got to calculate that. And what happens is the customer has up to an hour to retract the tip. So if they don't decide not to tip you, you're going to get $3 to spend a half hour, 45 minutes, however long it takes you, wherever you are, to go to Popeye's, pick that up, deliver it to the door, and all that. So it's just, I wish more people understood as a consumer, because it's nice right now because there's all these apps, all these companies, but we know, just look at history, if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. And I'm sorry to get off on the Uber and the delivery stuff, but if you're out there and you are getting these sort of conveniences, these are services with somebody toting the bill, and that is the independent drivers. Now, I think the companies, whether it's Uber, DoorDash, or whoever, they need to charge more. If somebody's got $100 in groceries, you should be charging 10 cents extra every item they get. I'm sorry, even as a consumer, if I'm getting $120 worth of groceries, $130 or $45 doesn't make a difference. If you have the capability to get groceries delivered to your house, listen, Pumpkin, I'm speaking to us too. You are too spoiled. You are too Americanized. It's too convenient for you. You should pay for it. It's a service. Or get your butt out there in the cold, get in your cold car, go to the store, and take your 2 or 3 hours to go grocery shopping. And then none of us can complain. So there it is. Problem solved. Thank you for listening. You saved me $60 in counseling. So back to reselling. Some of the stuff on the shelf has got to go. I am going to sell some of that live on Whatnot, so please be looking out. Like I said, it's Sunday evening. I'm debating tonight. The Lions play here shortly. I do want to watch them after Sunday evenings. If you have it promoted, it's kind of tough. In my opinion, I may just try it anyways, a pop-in show. If I don't, I'm going to spend the morning shipping, going to a job to finish up, grab my ladders, and close that out. And then I'm going to prepare for a Whatnot show. That means taking pictures, listing things. I absolutely loathe it. But if I'm being honest with myself, that's the best way. But you spend so much time, in my opinion, doing that. Is it worth it? I've not broke that crest where I feel like it is. I hope to, because I love live selling. Without the live selling aspect, my reselling, it took a decline for certain. I paid more attention to my eBay and static selling. And again, I mentioned I do sell on Whatnot statically. I get sales periodically. And my eBay store is doing better, but I love the live selling. It's fun to me. I don't mind sitting in front of this camera now. Now I'm a little more comfortable. Whether I'm good or not, that's debatable. But I like the live selling. I do miss the other platform, but like I said, we've been over that. I don't know if they'll ever have me back. Who knows? I feel like the people in charge, if I give it a month or two, I don't know. I may have just get a wild hair and apply back, see what they say. They kind of mentioned something about... I'll just say I got a message before from someone who had a tag name that I thought was just a buyer, but I have a feeling maybe they're involved. and it wasn't a bad message. It was actually a little bit encouraging, kind of saying, hey, it seems like some people are really trying to run you off. I would just say give it some time and everyone will forget about it. And I didn't take that advice. That's when I started my market and all that, and it didn't work out for whatever undisclosed reasons. But I kind of have a feeling that that person may be actually somebody who's a decision maker. I'm not sure. That could just be me. You know, I'm into conspiracies. But again, it wasn't a bad thing. It was just something I'm wondering about, because I didn't like the week-long waiting a week to ship. I kind of like Whatnot because it holds my feet to the fire. It's got to be gone, and you don't have stacks and stacks of things. But I do like the convenience. I definitely like the convenience of that marketplace. And back to TikTok, I am going to try on there. They keep trying to get me to sell on there. I don't even know how it works. I don't even know anybody who sells on TikTok. I know it was a big thing before. I don't know if it still is. It's never presented to me, but every single day TikTok sends me things that you got so many impressions and views, blah, blah, blah. You know, start selling. So I may look into that. I'm going to do some research on some other live selling. I'm not opposed to Whatnot, but again, I don't like going in there. And I know I've said this time and time again. When I'm live, it's so clunky to list something. And like with the shipping involved too, I wish you could just sell live and I could manually do it as I go, because I don't want to be stuck selling one thing and then I get requests and I watch these videos of people saying, don't take requests, you have this show. And I'm like, I don't really want to operate that way. I want to operate free. I want to be free to do whatever I want to do. I don't want to be told what to do. And if somebody has a request, I want to be all boom, 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 here you go. I don't even know what the shipping is. I can't see it live. I have to ask the audience, hey, what's the shipping on this? Is it correct? And sometimes it's not. Maybe that's not why I'm not selling certain things, is the shipping's not right. Man, it just seems so easy if you've got the money to build these types of platforms to make it seamless, or as seamless as possible. Especially if you've been in it years, you should be through all these issues and fixing it. But I don't know. What do I know? I am just a guy with a wooden grave digger. So anyways, I'll keep this short and sweet, just rambling on with nonsensical gibberish. But let me know what your sales of the week are, man. I like for you to comment and interact if you can. If you're truly here to enjoy it or just here to see what's going on with myself. Either way, let me know what you've been selling. Let me know what your favorite live selling platform is. Let me know what your favorite thing to source is. And do you source thrifting live? Because some of the live selling platforms are incredible places to source. I've not been doing that either. I have not been purchasing. I'm going to ramp that up. But anyways, I hope you all have a great evening. Hopefully the Lions win. Hopefully you like my deer hunting content. You may or may not, but this channel is for anything. This is not strictly reselling. I just started as a reseller, but hey, who knows? Tomorrow I may be digging ditches. So love y'all, mean it. Thank you for the support. Thank you for subscribing. And if you haven't, please go ahead and like, share, subscribe. I don't even know what the notification bell is, but have a good one, y'all. Stay positive, stay picking, stay red, and go blue.